Cool.
All right, welcome to Quarantine Check-In. My guest today is the very funny Alex Rawlik. Alex, how are you holding up?
We're still here. That's the important thing. We haven't gone away yet, and fortunately, everybody in my immediate circle has stayed safe throughout this whole thing. So that's rule number one.
Are you trying to learn a new skill during this time of seclusion?
I'm trying to learn how to be funny, Robert. I'm trying to work on comedy. That's it.
Bravo, because we were going to talk about that today.
Good.
That we think you should use this time to be funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up from everybody else too. We did the background noise podcast with Mark Poindexter and Jeremy Lippett. They gave me the same advice. They said, make sure you practice that. You need it.
Well, Mark has been on the show, and he mentioned it, that he goes, when he heard you were going to be on, he was like, man, Robert, you are pretty blunt. You need to tell Alex that he is not funny.
Yeah, 100%. I hear it all the time. We're working on it. It's getting there, I think.
I am trying to learn a new skill as well. Couch karate.
Interesting.
So, because I think I have become a little bit lazier since this whole thing has started.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone breaks to my house and they come within a foot of me, I'll be.
You're ready then, but if they get. Yeah.
I'm also learning how to catch a bullet, but I haven't really tried that yet because I don't want anyone to shoot at me. But I figure it can be done.
I'm pretty sure I saw a magician do it sometime, so it has to be possible.
I saw it in the Watchmen comic book. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a.
Comic books don't lie.
Never have. Not once.
They are the most believable form of literature. So, yeah.
Nice.
You were on the last show I produced.
I didn't know that was the last show you did, but I was there. Yes, that's very true. Down in Adrian, Croswell Theater.
You had a pretty good set that night, so you are funny.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The older ladies in the left side of the room didn't agree, but the people in the back thought it was hilarious, and I think that's been my audience my whole life, is the people in the back. So that's why I'm so loud.
I don't know. I've seen you do well before. You did well at my other show at the comic shop.
Mm-hmm. So
I think we both have a thing, like, older audiences aren't necessarily into what we're saying.
For sure.
And it's really hard because you want everyone to like you.
Right, but at the same time, it's tough to go away from, like it feels almost wrong to go and do stuff that, like, isn't you, if that makes any sense, just to try to get somebody to laugh.
I agree. Your comedy has to be true to you. Like, if I came on stage and started talking about how I get laid all the time, which is maybe true. It's not true. All of a sudden, people wouldn't believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And if there's not that element of a little bit of believability, the surprise doesn't work.
Well, yeah. I mean, people can tell who you are the second you come on stage, and they like you for who you are, and they want to believe everything you do. Like, I bring him up on almost every episode, Noah Chap. While we know he is not a necrophile, his set is so believable because that's his character.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody else has brought it up, but it's so funny. You'll be talking to Noah before he goes up and does his set, and then he gets up there, and then all of a sudden he pops his shoulder and gets into that, like, crouch that he does up around the mic. And he really just goes all in. It's so great.
It's funny. We did a show at Art of Armageddon Beach Party that Marcus Olin was running at the time, and there was a girl from work there, and I was trying to set her up with Noah. But when she heard his act, she didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's I don't know if that's the first date material that most women are looking for.
Well, he's better off because she was kind of an idiot.
That's true too. You want to avoid that.
Yeah. So What made you want to start doing comedy?
Sure. So I don't know. I in college I was doing a lot of like written sketch stuff. Um, it was all pre-recorded and things like that. And my roommate at the time, Louis Gedker, who's doing stand-up down in Dallas, Texas now, um, was part of the University of Michigan stand-up club. And he was like, Alex, you do a lot of funny stuff. You should come out and try it sometime. And so, I finally did it the second semester of my senior year, and did a show. Ella Horweedle, Andrew Jobuck, Brody Blair, some of the people who were in the club at the time. And I, did 5 minutes in front of a extremely inebriated group of college kids at a co-op, and they laughed. I had the best time of my life, and I was like, well, now I'm going to keep doing this. And that's been it ever since then.
And how long ago was that?
Probably about 2.5 years ago. And so I'd say it took me about a year to really figure out how to like get serious and be doing this 3-4 times a week instead of just once every couple of weeks. So I'd say that I really started like a year and a half ago.
Okay. What would you say your greatest achievement in comedy has been so far?
Performing at your show, the Croswell Theater.
Oh,
That was, we were still rising, and then the virus hit, and now all of a sudden we're back to square one. So
it's true. It sucks that was the last show I produced, because I had two more in the can that were not in the can that were supposed to happen that I was so fucking excited about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm still hoping all my venues will be around when this is over.
Yeah, that was the thing I was talking about with Jeremy and I were talking is we feel like there's two ways that this goes, and one is that the worst case scenario is all of these places are done, no more, and there just isn't venues for a long time. But the other idea possibility is that on the other side of this, there's still a few places left, and then in places before that maybe weren't so receptive to the idea of having live shows or comedy are just going to be so desperate to get people in there that there's going to be a lot of new venues.
Or they're going to say like this: we want to have events, but we want to have events that aren't going to draw large crowds.
That's true too. I guess I didn't think of that. That was a big oversight on my part.
No, it's weird. It's so hard drawing crowds to comedy shows, especially when no one in the audience knows who any of the performers are.
Yeah. So then add in the fact that people don't want to risk death. They're probably not going to come for people they've never heard of.
Yeah, well, they might, because I think economically people are still going to want to go out, but they're not going to want to spend $15-$20. They'll go to a free comedy show and buy a couple of drinks or get a meal, and then the evening is worth it for them.
I do think that there is some level of, even the people who are staying home or fine with the stay-at-home order are feeling a lot of energy to go out and do something. Like we can't wait to have the chance to go and exist in the world again and get out of our houses. So,
well, it's true. We were talking before this. I went running today. I hate running.
Yeah.
I need to get out of the apartment for at least an hour and a half, because I did 4 miles, 2 miles run, 2 mile walk, and it fucking sucks.
Yes.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Because I have my hand on my inhaler just ready to go.
The fastest draw in the West.
No, I keep it in my hand. It's like, as I'm running, and it's all sweaty, and probably come home and Lysol the shit out of it.
Well, hey, you're finally getting the Lysol in you. That's what's going to prevent the coronavirus. So.
Well, I've been injecting bleach every night. Instead of heroin, it's just bleach.
See, I went back to Tide Pods. My generation did that, and everybody said that was the wrong way to do it. But, it turns out we were right. So it's the best snack.
I mean, it's delicious.
Just melts in your mouth. Nobody
What's killing me about all this is I am going through Trump disorder, like it's no one's business right now. It's like every day he says something so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's exhausting to just even try to like keep up with he said what on what day. Like I don't know. It's it just fries my brain to even think about it.
It does, but I would kill to have an audience the size of his to do my shtick, and I'd be funnier than him.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, I am not presidential material, but I would be a better president than him.
Honestly, I think most, even dogs would be. Like they have dogs who are mayors of towns. At this point, let's just put one in the Oval Office and see what happens. The bureaucracy runs itself anyway.
I'm just waiting for the day where Trump comes to the joint session of Congress dressed as Emperor Palpatine and gives his speech from Revenge of the Sith, and basically tries to create an empire out of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that unlike Palpatine, he'll be wearing gold, and it'll be very tacky, and he won't have his head covered.
Well, he can't wear gold because he is not strong enough to wear a gold-plated outfit. It would break his bones.
That's true. That's true. He doesn't seem like someone with a very strong calcium intake.
Well, he had bone spurs. I mean, his bones are brittle and breaking.
Had bone spurs.
Yeah. Man, I wish my dad was rich enough for me to get out of stuff because of bone spurs.
Yeah, seriously. I think the funniest thing, one of the funniest underlying Trump things is that I don't think he understands what dogs do. He always insults people by saying they got thrown out like a dog, they were treated like a dog. I honestly don't think he's ever been around dogs in his life.
Well, he can't because they would sense him as the Antichrist.
Right. Yeah.
Which is weird because every time I go running, their dogs always bark at me, so I'm pretty sure I might be the Antichrist.
Maybe. You never know.
I would be a very shitty one. Because I don't want to do anything evil.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think, I don't know, there's also part of me that's just inherently too lazy to go about trying to subvert the entire world order. Like that just is a lot for me. I don't think I want to start that.
Or it's like, you want me to create Armageddon? Sure, but there are Full House reruns on right now. I got to see what's going on with DJ Tanner and the Olsen twins.
Exactly. I can't be bothered trying to figure out what's the best way to cause chaos in the Middle East.
I mean, I might go to an elevator and fart and blame it on somebody else. But that's as far as my evil goes.
Yeah, I might just start taking things off of people's plates at a buffet line. Like, you can get to that line. You can go get some more of that.
That's what sucks. The buffets are going to be gone. They will not exist when we come back.
Our children won't know anything about it. We'll just have to show them books and images. This is how we used to eat, just out of troughs.
There was a point we go to a place called Golden Corral, spend $10.
All you can eat.
And they had a chocolate fountain that was disgusting, but I wanted to try it.
Right. There was this magical place called Cece's Pizza where you could go, and they had Big Mac pizza and macaroni pizza and all sorts of other terrible but creative pizzas, and you would stuff your face until you cried.
There's a pizza buffet chain in the Midwest, in Missouri and I think Iowa. It's called Pizza Ranch. And when I went there one day, and I'm eating my pizza, and I'm listening to the music on the sound system, and it's all Christian. So I go on the Wikipedia, I look it up, and I find out it's a Christian pizza buffet. Now, first of all, I'm allergic to milk, so I shouldn't be in there in the first place. But I love pizza, and every now and then I have to go. But sure. I started thinking to myself, well, this is a religious buffet. They're promoting gluttony. Isn't gluttony a sin? So I brought it up to the manager, and he seemed befuddled. by the whole thing. I'm like, I guess you never read your Bible. And he just gave me the look to leave. And I did. I did.
It's very, very kind of you. Yeah, religious hypocrisy is very, very, very interesting. That's the funniest thing about all the pastors and all that, the televangelists down south who are saying that this is a fake virus or doesn't exist. It's like, aren't you the people who should believe in an invisible power the most?
Well, they believe in the invisible power of Jesus, who brings them the very visible power of cash.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's this preacher called Jim Baker, and on his show right now, he is selling these food buckets for you to get to keep you through the end times. I'm fascinated about these food buckets. I started looking for people who reviewed them on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I found them. The thing is, you need an oven to make the food. I'm like, if Armageddon happened, people wouldn't have ovens.
No, I don't know how many doomsday preppers included that in their bunker, a fully functional oven. It seemed like they were more excited just for cans. But wasn't he the guy who was selling silver as like a cure to the virus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had the power to make people believe that I was a pastor to separate them from their money.
There was a period of time where I was looking at like the amount of student loans I was going to have to pay about halfway through college. And I was like, I think I could legitimately become a televangelist and pull it off. It's a lot of the same skills that you have in stand-up, except it's easy because you can always just go back to the mystery of faith. You don't have to have the answers.
I had a vision, my brother. A vision.
That's right. That's right.
That on this day, 5 years from now, glory is going to happen. If you want glory to happen, please send me your donation, right?
That's right. God is good, and show him how good you believe that he is. Make sure you donate today, and he will bless you as I have been blessed, as you have been blessed with life on this beautiful day.
Have you ever gotten the phone call from that one pastor?
I have not. Fortunately, the only people who call me are asking about extended auto warranties, and they claim that they have arrest warrants from the Social Security Administration.
Oh yeah, I am very wanted by Social Security, the IRS, and it's funny. When I lived in Kansas City, across the street was the IRS building.
Mm-hmm.
So while I had them on the phone saying I was going to Walgreens to buy gift cards to give them the money, I went to the IRS and handed them the phone. So they talk to the fake IRS people.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always like to ask them when they're like, we have a warrant. I'm like, what's the name of the judge who signed it?
What's my address?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, you should know these things if you're, I don't know. Anyway, the preacher who was scamming you, who called.
So it's a recording.
Okay.
And it goes through the whole thing that he wants you to send this amount of money in this iteration or this iteration or this iteration. And then it gets to the end where it says, we can just input your credit card here, or you could talk to a live operator, but they don't want you to talk to the operator. They just want you to donate the money. So I talk to the operator every time to waste their time because it's expensive. And
yeah, of course.
I just read from the Satanic Bible to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they give you any reaction, or are they just kind of
hang up on me usually?
Gotcha.
But the longer you can keep them on the line, the more expensive that call comes for them. It's for them.
Sure.
So let's get back to comedy. Let's get back to that. So I think we met at one of Tom Swan's open mics, not the Tiki Bar, but the other one that was in Waterford.
Yeah, that's it was in that bar with the theater.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, me neither. They had okay food there. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I met you through Sean Isabel.
That's correct. That does seem right.
You and Sebastian Chow at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm starting to remember that mic. There was no one there. It was a tough night.
It would have been better if the audience was closer to the stage.
Yeah, I think there was one guy way in the back.
Yeah, it was messed up. I actually I did a real show there right before it shut down.
Oh, okay.
Billy Reno got me a spot. I didn't know I was hosting because back when I got the spot, I was a terrible host.
Gotcha.
I was so nervous and I was still like really monotone in my sets. But yeah, I thought that was a fun show. I'll be honest, like the first time I saw you, your comedy didn't gel with me, but it was when we were on that Thursday Night Live show, I was like, well, fuck, he's grown by leaps and bounds since then.
Thank you. Yeah. That Thursday show. I was super nervous about that, and then I don't know. It just it was one of those ones where things just seemed to come together.
We actually had a nice little size audience there.
We did, and then I stuck around for a little bit. I like the whole setup of the Thursday Night Live show is a really cool idea, and I kind of wish more places did that, where you gave people kind of a variety of different comedy.
I think that's how the comic shop show is going to go if it comes back.
Gotcha, nice.
Because I'm as a booker, I tend to overbook my shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to start limiting the amount of comics on there and maybe bring a little bit of improv as well, just to spice things up and, hopefully keep the audience growing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you're kind of diversifying your audience a little bit. You might get more stand-up people to appreciate improv, more improv people to come appreciate stand-up. But at the same time, I know, at least in my short time in the community, it seems like there is a little headbutting between improv people and stand-up people about which is the superior art form, I guess.
It's hard for me to say because I appreciate both to an extent.
Agreed. I'm in the same boat. I don't know if obviously stand-up's my first choice between the two, but I do have a large respect for people who can just do improv all day. Like the Middleditch and Schwartz special that's on Netflix. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch that.
I watched the first one, the wedding one.
Yeah. I was extremely impressed by that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It still seemed kind of set up that the people were up in that little corner all together.
Right.
But I like both of them. I had no idea that the guy from Silicon Valley was an improv guy.
Yeah. I didn't know either.
But I like Ben Schwartz. That's his name, right? Ben Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked him a lot on Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
Did you see the reunion last week?
I did not. I need to go back and watch that, unfortunately.
It was weird. Like, I thought Parks and Rec had a really good ending to the series, but I didn't know how bad I needed something like this in this time. Because human contact is very rare right now.
Yeah. It's almost weird at this point. Like, I don't know how to interact with people. It's because the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, like, I need to stay away from this person. I don't know. And I guess the only time I'm seeing people is when I'm walking my dog down the street. So.
But don't you live with your girlfriend?
No.
Okay. Is she doing okay?
We broke up.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. That's the best way to, I guess, talk about that with people is on a podcast that's going to get blasted out to the internet. So.
Well, I think my audience that goes between 3 and 30.
Nice.
Will appreciate that if they
right. Those people, they've been dying to know the answers. They were at your last show.
Yeah.
They were like, how is he going to blow this?
You know what? It's weird. You're not the only one. Another comedian friend of mine called me last night, and he's like, I'm single now. And it's like the worst time to be single.
Yes. There's not really anything you can do about it.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of Zoom dates and dates, and it's like, well, almost like every date I'm on, I know nothing's going to happen.
Exactly. Where is this supposed to go?
Yeah. And it's weird, like, when they see, like, what I'm cooking compared to what they're cooking. It's like, man, You know, I'm eating a fucking frozen burrito. You made like chicken.
Yeah. You actually used pots and pans. I punched in some numbers into the microwave.
You know, that takes some scientific geniusing right there.
Honestly, there is a science to the microwave that I don't think everyone's picked up yet. You really have to cook a few foods a few times because the instructions are never correct.
Well, everyone's microwave is a little bit different wattage wise. And yeah, I just punch it in, I eat it, and then I on my Zoom date, and then they see that I just have plastic silverware because I don't want to clean.
I feel like that's that's really there's something about that should be more appreciated. The practical nature of you knowing you. You know what I mean?
When I finish dinner, the last thing I want to do is clean.
Exactly. You want to enjoy your dinner and be able to enjoy it. I feel like if you have to do dishes right after, it takes away from some of the enrichment that comes with eating a meal. That's why going to restaurants is so nice, is because everybody does the hard parts for you. You just get to enjoy the food.
I miss going to restaurants. It's like the last time I jerked off, it wasn't jerking off to a person, it was jerking off thinking about eating somewhere.
The idea of someone else just taking your dishes and waiting on you. Yeah, I miss loitering. That's my big. I miss just sitting in a booth and ordering a water and then getting French fries and then, maybe a side of onion rings, but never actually ordering a real meal. Just staying somewhere for as long as possible until I'm tired and ready to go home and sleep.
So you mean pretty much every open mic?
Yes. Yes.
I was at an open mic that I think lasted a couple weeks in Warren, and the guy at the bar told me I had to order something to stay there. I was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. It's you're hosting an open mic. You're getting the comedian special multiple times, just 4 waters.
Yeah, I mean, I actually paid him for the water. That's how bad. I didn't want to buy a beer. I don't really drink. I'll drink once in a while, but fuck.
Sure.
It was a good mic too. It was a good mic, except for the fucking bartender.
There's always something. There's always something.
What has been your biggest bomb so far?
Oof. It's probably a 342. Probably at Mark's open mic a couple of times. I've had some tough sets.
I've heard there were fights in there.
Yeah, it's never been. I don't think it's ever been comedians though. And believe it or not, I've never been there for one. It's always either like the weeks that I can't go or because we'll show up at like 7:00, do the podcast. The open mic starts at 8:30. I mean, we've been there for forever. Usually Jeremy and I go like 2 or 3 and then we leave and then the fights happen later. But yeah, there have been fights between people at the bar, but not actually comedians. So
That would be kind of awesome.
yeah, it really is. It's funny because the usual patronage of that bar hates the comedy, but because they have like a buy one get one happy hour, they're there every week, and then every other week there's a pool league going on that also has no interest in the comedy. So there's just this very hostile environment that happens every time.
That's fucked up. It's weird. Like there used to be another open mic before you probably got onto the scene at the Blue Moose in Farmington, and the crowd fucking hated us. The second or third one there, it was police were called, people were arrested. It's gone down in history as the Blue Moose Massacre.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was a highlight of my comedy career, but it was also a low light.
Yeah, I think it's funny just because like the last thing I want to do is fight, but if people are doing it, I'm gonna sit there and watch. Like I'm gonna be the asshole who's shouting things, but I don't want to actually get involved.
I know you and I both have one thing in common. Our faces are too pretty to be in fights.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. This is how I plan on making money, believe it or not. That's
We can't damage our moneymaker.
no, no. If this goes, then I'm done. I'm useless.
Yeah, then we'll be like all the other comics, just common looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just regular plebes.
And I can't do that. I wake up every morning, do my routine, wash my face, put oil of Olay on. I mean, I'm 90 years old. I can't.
Wow, I didn't know that, Robert. I thought you were 80. You've got me. You've got me completely fooled here.
Fuck you. Let's see. What are your goals once all this is over?
I want to, I was talking with Jeremy about this actually, because he was, his mom like works at a nursing home, and they wanted him to come out and do some comedy, and then we were gonna kind of split the time there. But I want to come up with like 15 minutes of clean material, stuff that I feel like I can do pretty much anywhere at any time and get a laugh. So right now my 10 minutes it's okay, but it is blue, it is dirty, or whatever, however you want to call it. So just trying to figure out how to take some of the either the material that I have and see if there's a way that I can clean it up, or just come up with ideally 15 minutes of new material that's all pretty safe for any environment would be good, just to increase the amount of opportunities that I have.
I agree with you on that. I've been working on my cleaner set. Like, I'm never gonna go like family friendly golly gee willikers.
Sure.
Because that's not me.
Yeah.
But I am realizing that if I didn't say, I only say fuck once in my set, but if I didn't have that joke, if my jokes, some of my more sexual stuff I took out and put it in with other stuff, more relatable, I think I'm going to have better chances. I mean, look, Brett Hayden is a cleanish comic.
Mm-hmm.
So is Tanner Oliver. The majority of their stuff is clean. And that's where the opportunity is. At Ridley's, the Showcase, at One Night Stands. And when you hit the road, that's the stuff people want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree. Like, I don't think I'll ever be Brian Regan. But just increasing opportunities at this point, that's really the name of the game, is the whole numbers deal. How many opportunities can you get? How many people can see you? How many people enjoy you? And so on and so forth. So,
well, that's what I'm worried about, is when we come out of this, the opportunities will be less than there were going into this.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also believe a lot of people who are doing it won't be coming back to it.
That's what I'm kind of curious to see about, is how many people end up dropping it, or how many people who have been in this quarantine have been like, I got to try this now. We were stuck here. I can't, we can't, I need to live life to the fullest. I need to grab it by the horns type deal. And how many people start now that this quarantine's over? I think that's an interesting thing to see.
I think it'll be harder for them to start, because open mics that were show up, go up won't be go up anymore, because it can only limit a certain amount of people into bars and locations. So what used to be 25, 30 comics, I think like a New Way or Brett Solifino's mic, or even Cabbage Patch, will have to be 10 comics.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that.
Because no one is going to want that many people in.
It's really going to be very interesting to see what happens. There's so much up in the air.
Now, I think house shows are going to become the norm, or more of the norm, that people are, some of the comics are just going to say, fuck it. And once May 28th rolls around, invite friends over their place for a barbecue and have a comedy show. Because we're all going stir crazy, and I don't know if you've done virtual mics.
I have not done one.
You should come on Thursday, May 7th, even though this will probably have already air after that, to kind of the comic shops Thursday open mic.
All right. Yeah, I'll be there.
Cool. I look forward to it. I look forward to hearing your cleaner material.
I haven't written it yet.
You have several days to write.
We'll see what I can come up with.
Cool. What is the first restaurant you're going to go to once we're able to sit down?
So they just opened up a Green Lantern Pizza in Berkeley, and it took place of Sila's Italian restaurant was there. I don't know if you'd ever been there, but it was near and dear to our hearts. It was sad to see it go, but we love Green Lantern, and so my family is going to be very excited to actually sit down there now that we've ordered twice a week for 4 weeks now. So be happy to be in Green Lantern.
That's cool. What is the first non-comedy thing and non-restaurant thing you want to do once we're able to get back out there?
I actually didn't realize how much I missed going to the movies. You know, like there's something to be said for like watching a movie on your couch, but the theater is a cool experience, and I would like to get back to that as soon as possible.
I do too, and I don't want my last movie in the theater to be the last movie I see in the theater.
Which was?
The Hunt.
I didn't see it. I don't know. Was it good?
It was better than I thought
it wasn't.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. But I was going to see that or Bloodshot. And as I was buying my ticket, I was reading the reviews. I'm like, I'm going to go see The Hunt. It got a little bit better than Bloodshot.
Yeah. Well, I would actually be fine. The last movie I saw in theaters was Parasite, and I'm still just like, what am I supposed to get out of this movie that I haven't got? It's like every 3 days I come back to it, and I like go down this rabbit hole about like trying to figure out that movie.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on Hulu, so I might watch it.
I will say, I mean, I'm not a film critic by any means, but it made sense that it won Best Picture. It's not like a movie where you're sitting there with your jaw dropped, just like, wow, oh my God. But it is a thinker where you'll be sitting there 3 days later going, what were they trying to say?
I'll have to watch it. I have to be in a certain frame of mind to watch subtitled films.
Sure.
I've been getting a lot of migraines just worrying about shit.
Happens.
The world is falling apart right now.
Yeah. Did you see the murder hornets?
No.
Yeah. So they're worried about this new invasive species coming from Asia. It's like these hornets that have these giant mandibles. And I don't want to get something wrong. So because we're on the internet, I'm going to Google what I should know about it, but they're freaking a lot of people out. And Google murder hornets. And they could decimate the honeybee population. So I guess they go and they find bees and they kill them. And I don't know how hip you are to trends, but there's definitely a trend amongst my generation of save the bees. So murder hornets are decimating bee populations is not what we were hoping for in 2020.
Yeah. That's fucked up. Now, I hate the bees because I'm allergic to bee stings.
Sure.
First time I got stung, I was like 7 or 6, and my neighbor, Alana Sampson, her dad like owned an amusement company of some sort. They got a huge bouncy house they put in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I was about to get inside of it, a bee stung me, and I found out I was allergic. I was rushed to the hospital.
Oof, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, fortunately, I'm not allergic to bees, so that meant that most of my youth I spent recklessly unafraid, and so I've been stung by bees many times, and I never learn.
Now, would you get stung by a murder hornet?
I don't know what happens. I'm terrified.
What if we got superpowers?
I mean, it depends what the superpowers are. Obviously, I guess at this point, my life's so boring, I'll take anything, you know?
I would kill for a superpower right now. I'd be evil. I would go evil with that. I would take over the world.
I mean, right now we might need it. I think we might need someone to kind of correct things. So evil is subjective.
I would just take over the world and remake it in my image.
I
Don't
I
worry.
can't I can't blame you.
There would be a place for you in the new society.
Thank you. That's really all I'm asking for is a job and an opportunity to exist.
And get this, I would marry Kim Jong-un's sister.
Interesting take. I don't blame you.
She's kind of hot and she's kind of evil.
She definitely has, experience working in a dictatorship, which is going to be very important.
I wouldn't call my new society a dictatorship because that word has so many bad connotations to it. I would call it a society where everyone is well taken care of as long as they do what I say.
It's a little wordy, but I think it'll work.
I would call it harmonious contribution.
That's much better. There you go. Now you're thinking of branding.
Well, I am in advertising, so always thinking about it. I'd have ad agencies who would do great work for me. If they don't, I would kill them. I'm sorry, killing them would be a bad thing. They would just disappear. They would be going to a place that's better.
You would send them to a farm upstate.
Because someone would drive upstate and they would find nothing. I would just send them somewhere better. The afterlife.
Perhaps. That's always been interesting to me, and I'm sure someone's done a joke about it, but like if the afterlife's so great, why are religious people so against suicide?
Did you ever see there's a movie you should check out called Risk Cutters?
Okay.
It is it's actually a really good film. It stars the kid from Almost Famous and Tom Waits. And it's about where you go when you kill yourself to this really weird purgatory.
Okay.
Where the only music you listen to are from bands where someone killed themselves, and it's a really good film. I think it's on HBO.
Okay, I'll for sure have to check that out.
You can check out the website I wish was our sponsor, justwatch.com. At justwatch.com, you can type in any name of any show, and it'll tell you where it's streaming.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I should have sponsors on this. I should have lots of sponsors like justwatch.com.
I've been pushing for the same thing on the 342 podcast. I'm telling Jeremy and Mark, we just got to start pushing companies, and hopefully one of them is just like, hey, podcasts are the craze. We'll pay you. But nobody listens to me. With no reason.
I was just watching like a YouTube thing of this guy who basically makes fun of the show 90 Day Fiancé.
Mm-hmm.
And he just got sponsored by AdamandEve.com.
Nice. Good for him.
I would like to be sponsored by AdamandEve.com. Your one-stop shop for all your adult needs. They'll send you stuff in one day. That's what I hear. That's what the thing. I can do that. I am good. I just list off 2 sponsors right there.
You delivered those lines beautifully. I'm much more likely to go check out AdamandEve.com and get their one-day shipping now that I've heard it from the horse's mouth.
Look, I don't know if it's true. It's just what I saw. And if Adam and Eve wanted to sponsor this show would take more of an adult content spin.
For sure. I'm in the same place. I would say anything for anyone for an amount of money. I'm not principally moral.
I would do it for a Big Mac value meal at McDonald's. That's how desperate I am for sponsors.
I had an issue with online ordering with Chipotle recently to the point where I had to complain, and I really tried to spin like getting me free stuff. They refunded me for everything, so that was as good as it got. But I was really like, hey, you can tell by the amount of times my loyalty card has been swiped, I'm loyal, but if I can't get this fixed, I may have to find a new burrito joint.
What else is there? Qdoba?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been awesome. But before we go, I have become a big fan of Craigslist Misconnections.
Okay.
It is where the seediest people on the planet go to express what they're looking for. I am going to read one to you, and this is a long one.
All right.
It is from Orange County in California.
Okay.
The OC. It's called "This is Exactly What I Would Do to You Tonight." The first hour of the evening will be purely oral, as I explore the dewy fold of your fragrant flower with my mouth and slowly massage your little pink head out of its velvet hood and dance your little pink head out of its spring creek. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Out of its velvet hood, blah, blah, around it until your spring creek begins to flow as if it's swelled by the rain. Only we should say then, only then will I approach the now open and aching heart of your womb with my now fully masked, entering inch by inch, filling you deep inside to the core of your being, and then throbbing and pulsating there in the essence of your womanhood. Slow and steady, I will begin to ebb and flow in the foamy brine as it gently waxes and wanes as the moon until it's full and until it's full and the tide is high and the waves grow stronger and faster and spill over the shore in warm, wet undulation that ripples and echoes endlessly as I remain a solid rock in the middle of your seas. This will continue hour after hour until your ocean has flooded the beach, not once, but twice, but thrice of more. When the first hint of dawn begins to glow on the horizon and you think you hear the first bird of morning stir and sing, then my feast upon your swollen breast and my relentless rhythm in your rain-washed garden too. God, he has some bad grammar in here. Too much for me to take any longer. I will fill you up inside with all the love I have been saving up for you. I bury myself so far into you with one final infusion that you will feel its heat spread throughout your entire body as you fall asleep in my arms, satiated as the sun rises on our entwined singularity. I will say this is the best written thing I've ever picked out from Craigslist.
Yeah, that was I need a shower, first of all. That was gross.
Yeah. Yep.
Second of all, wow, they put way too many words into their fantasy.
I actually appreciate that he used the phrase "the dewy fold of your fragrant flower."
There's some alliteration there. Yeah, that's there's definitely like they're trying to get an A on an English paper here, but it's almost like there's too much that they just can't get to it. And because it really boiled down to they want to make love to a woman, or to a woman until the morning. They could have made that much more concise. It's a lot like stand-up. Shorten the content, less words, get to the punchline, and it will be more successful.
This is how I would have wrote it. This is exactly what I would do to you tonight. I want to bang you. Oh.
Simple as that. It's done.
But I could just see someone reading this and going, he's going to talk a lot during sex.
Yeah. Way too many words.
And I don't believe it. Like he starts off with the first hour, and then instead of saying what's going to happen the second or third hour, he just goes, I will do the same for the second, third. I mean, look, there have been nights where I've had whiskey dick.
Sure.
And, it's taken me a lot longer. I think it's epic, but she's bored after the 7th minute.
Right. Yeah. This is clearly written by someone who's never had sex before.
Yeah, it's written by somebody who still lives in their mom's basement and is trying to wax poetically as they're waxing on and off on something else.
Exactly. It's very uncomfortable. I'm surprised they put that out there. But I guess I hope they find what they're looking for. I'm not here to bring anybody's dreams down.
I think your dreams are already down if you're on Craigslist looking for love.
That's true. That's true. I'm just trying to be optimistic here.
You want love to happen for everybody.
Yes, if possible. I mean, I guess there's probably some people who, if they didn't reproduce, that would be for the best. But
Yeah.
who am I to judge? I'm not God. I can't say don't reproduce.
No. And you know what? The people who reproduce, they are in the dewy folds of someone's fragrant
The
flower.
flagrant flower, yes.
Oh, man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. Tomorrow we have a great guest.
Do we? Who is tomorrow's guest?
He is the host of the Nightcap at the Cabbage Patch in Pittsburgh.
Jason Spitzbergen. I love Jason. He's a great guy. So everyone should definitely watch that one too.
Yeah, you should watch them all. Maybe we can get up to 100 views on one of these.
And maybe if you get enough views, we can, you'll get that Adam and Eve sponsorship.
Look, I will take any sponsor. I will take Pornhub. I will take I would take Pornhub.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Nick Pizzuti, and I'm like, porn is boring. I've seen so much of it during this time.
Yeah, it all kind of blends together.
There was a joke Pete Davidson said where he now can identify any porn star by the back of their head. And I agree with him. I can agree with him on that.
I hate to go out and publicly admit this, but yeah, me too.
It's like if there was a game show named that porn star, every male and female would win it. It would be like, all right, that
would be a very good game show. And there'd be like a small segment of America that isn't like into porn yet that would just be shocked by just how ubiquitous porn is for a certain age group. Everybody my age watches porn. Everyone.
It's free.
And it's everywhere. It's like all of the internet.
Yeah, it's true. Look, since Pornhub started giving away the free premium, since we've all been basically isolated, it's like why not?
You would be
7 minutes.
Be remiss.
But what's getting me is how bad the stories are.
I mean, they've never been good.
But now
somebody always puts up like vintage, like something from the 70s. I've watched those, and the stories aren't good there either.
But those are more stories than they are sex. You could take the sex out instead of a movie, but you could watch a movie today. It's like, oh, you're the babysitter? You look hot. They have sex. It's so predictable.
I mean, you're looking for surprise in porn? I'm
looking for creativity. A little bit more creativity in there. Like
I think maybe you should just start writing them.
I used to review porn as a side hustle.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And I quit doing it because when you got the DVD and Blu-ray and you had to watch the movie, watch all the extras, and if there was a commentary, you had to listen to the commentary. I could spend 12 hours on one movie, and I fucking hated it. It ruined porn for me.
Well, anyone out there struggling with porn addiction, the message is clear. Go review porn, and you'll ruin it for yourself.
Or go on a porn set.
That too. I feel like that's the masks and the hazmat suits people have been wearing in the airports might be useful in that scenario too.
What's fucked up? They had a craft service table, and
I don't want to eat any of that food.
Yeah, you don't, especially when someone naked is standing right next to it. A stray pube could blow off of them.
That's isn't that the worst? There's just pubes on your fruit.
Yes. Pubes and fruit are two things that don't go well together.
Keep them separate. They should be in separate rooms at all times.
We just learned something. We just did a PSA.
We're teaching the world.
We are. Thank you so much, Alex. I hope to see you sooner than later. And stay safe.
You too, Robert. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. See you guys tomorrow.